Hey folks, Stan Pearson, Spirited Rock Lithics again. I'm doing this little video here for our Southeast Virginia Primitive Skills group on Facebook. And a fellow up there had a question about plant fiber cordage. And what I have here is we call it here where I live in Virginia, bear grass, but most of the world calls it yucca. And this stuff grows everywhere you look. Easy to come by, easy to find. Got a chert flake. It's actually not a, I don't know what, it's an evacuate anyway, something from my waste debitage pile in my flint knapping. Anyway, I'm going to take the flake. It's got a sharp but not too sharp edge, and we're going to get the fibers out of this yucca. The way we do it is place it on a good solid surface, and you just scrape that outer chafe off. And you can see the fibers coming through already once you get all that chafe off, and every now and then you got to get a good finger full of green, and it will stain your fingers green. Clean that off, clear your blade edge, and it'll scrape better. We'll move down the leaf a little bit. This leaf here is green. To me, it works better that way. You find some that are dry or almost dry. You can just strip the, split them and split the fibers out, kind of like you would split a piece of sinew down to get a smaller strand. And it's just harder to get the dried chafe off of it that way. To me, it works better green, but it does stain your fingers and whatever else it touches. And you just keep scraping away until you get that chafe off of there. And like I say, every now and then you clear your blade, it'll make it clean better. If your blade's too sharp, you'll cut through your fibers and defeat your purpose. This one's sharp, but not too bad. Once we get these fibers stripped out of here, then we're going to show you how you twist them up for cordage. That's good enough for this video to give you the idea. And we'll flip it and take the chafe off the other side. Then you'll really see those fibers start coming out of there. I don't know how well the camera's capturing it, but if you can see it, you'll see the little white fibrous strands starting to separate on their own. Yeah, kind of cut through one right there. That's alright, we can work around that. And these leaves, yucca leaves, are pretty long, so you can get some pretty long fibers out of them. You can always tell when someone's stripping green plant fibers, because they'll be the folks walking around with green fingers for a few days. Alright, as you can see, you see all our fibers starting to separate out of here. And we can pretty much stop there just for demonstration purposes. I got enough long fibers there, so what we'll do is take our chert flake, the other edge is sharper, and we'll cut this off right there. And we'll strip this last little bit here out. A little bit of heavy chafe still on the edge there. And we'll get a little bit more down here. You can see it's getting really fibery now. All these little strands are starting to separate as that chafe's coming off that holds them together. And go ahead and get a little more down here. Now I'm going a little fast, but you should be careful because it's easy to cut through this stuff. When you get the hang of it, you can go a little faster without damaging it. Alright, and we'll cut it off back here also. Alright. As you can see, they're actually starting to fall to pieces. And you can take and put them in your hand, and maybe on the table. You can get them to roll a little bit. It'll help break up the last little bit of those fibers. And you wring them in your hands, twist them, do a little back and forth action like you do if you're stripping fibers out of your nettles and stuff, or your milkweeds. Alright, we got our fibers coming out. Let me get a few of these here. Alright, as you can see, they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller as we're separating them down. And it's up to you how fine you separate your fibers, but for a regular heavy-duty cordage, this is good enough right here. And all you do is you take your bundle and you make I'm going to try to do this in reverse to the camera so you can see. You take your bundle and you make a loop. Yeah, if I can get it to loop. You can see it. You're just making a loop where one side is over top of the other side. And the side out away from you, you'll take that side and you'll twist it away from you. About 2, 3.5. Let me reverse this. There we go. And you'll see when your cordage, your fibers tighten up enough to twist it back. Then you grab it with your fingers like this here and twist your wrist back. Then you take the one that's away from you again, couple 2, 3 twists, grab it with your fingers and rotate back. And that's the whole process. And you just keep doing that. And when you're getting ready to run out of fibers on one side, you splice some more in about a couple inches before you're running out, so that they'll be binded in good and won't be a weak spot in your cordage. And well, you add some fibers in, grab some extras. Your side that's towards you, just lay those fibers up beside that, in between the two strands. Twist the one away from you, twist it up tight, and then rotate it back over the newly inserted strands. And then you twist all of that together and back. And you just continue that twisting away and rotating back method until you got your cordage. You just keep going. And of course, however well you size and separate your strands will determine on how clean or pretty or fancy your cordage is. For our purposes here, I'm just trying to show you how to do it. And there's your cordage, and you'll see where your splice is. There'll be a tab sticking out. You can just snip that off with the chert blade later. But I'll get it up closer. There's a good view of your cordage. And you can see where your strands are separated. This would be the one going away from you. And just twist it away, couple turns, grab the other one and rotate your wrist back. Twist it away, rotate your wrist and back. And that's how you do your cordage and strip your fibers from your leaves and plants, on yucca anyway. And this will make a nice, really tough, strong cordage. And as you can see, you'll turn green doing it. Alright, well that's it for this video. And let's go find some other stuff and make some cordage. Have a good day. Use your chert blade. Leave them homemade or store-bought knives at home. Have a good day.